Good morning, Charlamagne.
Good morning, Angela Yee. Peace to the planet. It's Friday. I want to drop one of Clues bombs first and foremost for all my Haitian masters. God damn it. Okay. All the Africans, everybody from El Salvador.
Right.
But I do want to focus on the Haitians in this situation with Mr. Donald Trump, because if I know Haitians like I know Haitians, Donald Trump will be coughing up a frog by Monday at the latest.
Donald Trump doesn't seem like he has any intention of apologizing. He doesn't think he said anything wrong. People in the White House don't even feel like there's an issue. They're still trying to somehow support some certain people.
Well, listen, you don't have to apologize, because when that white powder blows into your face, Mr. Trump,
oh my goodness.
okay, and the truth becomes your mouth, meaning that when you start defecating out of your mouth, and you get this feeling when you feel like you can't eat, and then you get sick all of a sudden, and you start sweating, and then you throw up, and actual feces comes out your mouth, then you will understand.
Sounds like you've been through it.
Patience.
Have you been through it before? Has somebody put a rook on you?
Yes, before. Drop one of Clues bombs with a Haitian today.
Goodness
We're
gracious.
not having this morning.
Sounds like you
Even if Donald Trump apologizes, doesn't matter, because that's what he really believes.
He
He's
never
a racist.
apologizes for anything anyway.
When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Absolutely.
All right? Donald Trump is a crack-ass, cracker-white devil. And anybody who still supports Trump at this point, even if you voted for him, if you can't admit that you made a mistake, if you can't admit that he's the worst president of all time, if you can't admit that he's bad for the country, then you a crack-ass, cracker-white devil too. Okay? Yeah.
All right.
This is Charlamagne the God, all right? I want y'all to complain about the right people. Okay?
And I know I've said
Doesn't
before,
matter, doesn't
I
matter.
can't help but feel like people that support Donald Trump are racist also. I know people got on me about that, but I do feel like if you support what he believes and his ideals and him, then that makes you racist. You're supporting racist ideologies.
And at the least, if you don't want to be called racist, you're an accomplice to racism.
Yeah,
you're an accomplice to bigotry.
And see, and those people that voted for him that thought, well, he's not a politician to do right, now you have to see, well, damn, I made the wrong decision.
And that's cool. Listen, by the way,
You have to say,
It's
I
okay
made
to
the
say
wrong
you're
decision.
wrong.
exactly. If you voted for him based off that premise, and that's fine. But now, at this point, at this stage in the game, you gotta admit he's bad for business.
Absolutely.
All right, he's bad for business.
Yes,
Simple
he
and
is.
plain.
All right. Well, today on the show, G-Eazy will be here.
Okay.
And also Lena Waithe will be here.
Nice balanced show on this Friday morning. I love it. If you don't know who Lena Waithe is, she's the first black woman to win an Emmy for comedy writing. And G-Eazy is...
And that was from Master of None, the Thanksgiving episode.
Yes, from after another Thanksgiving episode. And G-Eazy's a rapper.
You know what? I was actually on time, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna deposit money in the bank, and walked over, and then it took my card, and I was like, I'm not leaving until I get my card back. And it took 7 minutes before I got my card back, but I was like, I am not going anywhere until I get my bank
The
card
ATM
back.
held you for 7 minutes?
7 minutes held me up.
What?
The money got stuck, and I was like, it wouldn't give me my card back. I was like, I'm not leaving this.
I have an issue with putting money in the ATM.
That usually works out fine, but I'm like, somebody will come in behind me, take my card, and nah. Nope.
ATM hold you up for 7 minutes, then somebody else come in there and hold you up for another 3. And take what you got. You ain't got time for that.
Damn right. All right, well, let's get the show cracking. Front page news, what we talking
I
about?
mean, maybe some people don't know what it is that Donald Trump said yesterday, but we will make sure we get all into that this morning.
All right. I just what you can put it while this is playing. Charlamagne hit our boss and said, "Hey, boss, our president said it hole. Can I say that on air?"
That's right. I was watching CNN last night. They was letting that word fly, baby. I couldn't wait to come in here and say asshole.
She said, "Hell no, you better not."
She was like, they cable. I'm cable too.
Here's Post Malone rock stars, the Breakfast Club morning. DJNV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club.
Hey, what's happening on this beautiful Friday?
Let's get in some front page news. All right, now let's start off with NFL football. If you still watch the football, if you still watch and care about the playoffs, Eagles take on the Falcons, Patriots take on the Titans, Jaguars take on the Steelers, and Saints take on the Vikings. Now let's talk about Donald Trump.
All right. Well, Donald Trump, he was having a meeting, a closed-door meeting, and they were talking about immigration reform. And in particular, what they were doing was talking about a plan that involved cutting the visa lottery in half and also making sure that the rest would go to underrepresented countries in Africa and temporary protective status nations, which include Haiti. Now, one person in the meeting said that the language is salty on both sides. And when they started talking about Haiti, that's when Donald Trump said, why do we want people from Haiti and more Africans in the U.S.? And he also said the U.S. should get more people from countries like Norway. He said, why do we want people from these ish-hole countries coming to the United States?
Meanwhile, the only S-hole I see on this planet is Donald Trump's mouth. And guess what? If I know Haitians like I know Haitians, by Monday, he really will be defecating from his mouth. Okay? Woo-hoo! All right.
Now, staffers at the White House still predict that this comment does resonate with Trump's base, and that some people are going to be very supportive. People that voted him still believe in him. But other lawmakers have condemned what Donald Trump had to say. Several lawmakers from both sides, both Republicans and Democrats, have strongly rebuked these comments. And Mia Love, whose parents came to the United States from Haiti, said this behavior is unacceptable from the leader of our nation. She's a Utah Republican, and she demanded an apology from the president. She said, my parents came from one of those countries, but proudly took an oath of allegiance to the United States and took on the responsibilities of everything that being a citizen comes with. They worked hard, paid taxes, and rose from nothing to take care of and provide opportunities for their children.
Listen, I'd like to say F Trump's base. This has nothing to do with conservative and liberal. This has nothing to do with Democrat and Republican. This has to do with right and wrong, good and evil, God and Satan. This, my friends, is wrong.
Now, Haiti's government said that they condemn what Donald Trump's comments were, and they also said they want to have a meeting with a U.S. official about the incident. Now, the country's ambassador, Haiti.
Oh, they just want to get close to him to get that wipe out on. That's all. That's all. That's all this is. I know what this is.
Now, Haiti's ambassador to the United States said that Donald Trump was either misinformed or he is miseducated, and he said Haitians fought alongside U.S. soldiers in the Revolutionary War and would continue to be great contributors to American society. The former Prime Minister of Haiti also said, shame on Trump, the world is witnessing a new low today with this ish-ho nation's remark.
Yo, Donald Trump, Haitians coming to the country every day, B. Get you some soup, jumu, some ginger tea, you'll be all right. You tough, right?
See, the thing is
tough, right?
He's a racist, he says these remarks, but what happens next? We just have a racist president, then we just got to deal with a racist president?
Well, we got a crackhead chief.
We've been dealing with it.
We definitely got a crackhead chief.
Worse and worse and worse, and just take it.
And once again, people always say, why are you always calling certain white people crackers? When you racist, bigoted, white people will be called crackers.
Now, interestingly enough, while this was breaking, Donald Trump was taping a message for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, boy. Oh, you want a quote from Martin Luther King Jr.? I got a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. This is how I feel about all you so-called good white people who can hear Donald Trump speak this racist rhetoric and not speak out about it. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people.
Now, he doesn't have any issues with immigration unless it's people of color, because he wants more people from Norway to come here. That's what he said. Why can't we have more people from places like Norway?
He had some from Norway.
Come to the United States.
That's all that is. As a man who smashed a chick from Norway, I can understand why he would want more women from Norway here, but that has nothing to do with nothing.
Wow. All right.
All right, well, that's front page news. All right, let's open up the phone lines. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset,
the good life.
you need to vent, hit us up right now. Or if you want to tell them why you're blessed, phone lines are wide open as well. 800-585-1051. Hit us up now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
This is Juju.
Hey, Mama, get it off your chest.
You say your name's Super Jumu.
I was calling in because I'm blessed this morning. I started my own hair extension business, so I'm super excited about that, and I'm ready to make these plans.
Congratulations. Where you getting your hair from? Where you getting your hair from?
Well, I have units, so everyone can go to Lavish Queens Beauty on IG, and Lavish Queens Hair and Cosmetics on Facebook. We have layaway plans available. We're just trying to make every woman feel like a queen at an affordable price, you know?
That's dope, man. One of my homegirls is starting a weave distribution company, and she is taking it serious. Salute to Ashley. She going to China. She going to India.
She better take it serious.
She is on the search for the world's best weave.
That's a big business right there.
There you go.
She is
You can
tired.
buy it so much cheaper there and come here and sell
Yes,
food.
and she is tired of other
200
people.
times the price.
Yeah, she's tired of other people making money off weave and when black women wear it the most.
Hello, who's this?
What's up, pal? My name is Bobby. Hey, I got a question. I'm listening to your show. Trump is out of order, absolutely. But can we call white people crackers on the radio? I'm a white guy, and I
Hey, yo, my G, hey, yo, I don't want to hear that. After Donald Trump called Haitians and Africans and El Salvadorians, he called those places assholes yesterday. Don't call up here complaining about me saying cracker, because you're showing where your priorities lie. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Bro, can I call you a coon?
If you want to.
All right,
You have the right.
I don't really like hearing this name calling going back and forth. So
If
let's
you-
just move
if-
on.
if
If
you
he
want to-
doesn't like it, he doesn't like it.
If the shoe fits, call me that. Because guess what? The cracker shoe fits Donald Trump. Yes, your crackhead chief. You voted for him. You probably still support him. Suck my d.
Well, you can't say the D word.
What? I don't hear. Listen, we gotta stop playing with these people. Stop playing with these racists. Stop playing with these bigots. Stop playing with these Trump supporters. I don't want to hear that.
I agree.
I don't want to hear it no more.
Okay,
It's a wrap. It's over.
You can't say D though.
It's over.
You can say,
It's over.
You can say penis. You
Every
can say,
Haitian in America is throwing white powder their way. Y'all want that
you
energy?
can say crotch.
Do y'all want that energy?
But you can't say D.
Whatever. I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm tired of playing with these people, man. Why are we so nice to these
You
people?
ain't gotta be nice, but you can't say that. You can't say the D word.
Whatever.
It's kids that
That
listen.
was
Listen,
total
people should be
disrespect.
allowed to call and express how they feel about something still.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hello. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. This is Mr. Bombay, man, straight out of Atlanta from Harlem. And I wanted to just tell y'all why I'm blessed.
Okay. Go ahead.
Let's hear that.
I am transitioning out of my former employment into my new career.
Never mind.
And I wanted to celebrate that. Be blessed for that.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know, I really thought you was about to say transitioning from some whatever gender. I really did. That's. I'm sorry that my mind is conditioned like that, but yeah.
Well, let's hear about your transition.
Well, what I'm doing is I got my own business, and I just about to quit my job and start my own business. My business already started, but I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm mad though.
I
Yes,
just thought
sir.
you was blessed, but go ahead.
I'm mad because y'all don't got my alcohol on that shelf behind Charlemagne.
What kind of alcohol you got?
I got a lemonade infused vodka, man.
A lemonade infused vodka?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, send it
I
up
called
there.
in before. You said I was selling poison to the people, man. You hated on my business, dog.
Well, I enjoy some of that poison from time to time. Send it up, brother.
Will do.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot for your time.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent. Hit us now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Elias Labrador from Homestead, Florida.
Hey, Eli, get it off your chest, bro.
Okay, bro, I am mad as like a wet cat, bro.
A wet
Like, it's
cat.
Wet cat.
Wet
Yeah,
cats
wet
get mad?
yeah, well, cats don't like to get wet. You know, you spray them with water, and they're like,
Yeah,
yo, why you
cats
do
don't
that?
like water.
Well, I like when my wife's cat is wet, by the way.
Yo, so I'm a plumber, right? By trade.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Are
spend
you
a
a
lot of
licensed
time.
plumber?
I'm a licensed plumber, yes.
You lay pipe.
I lay the pipe. I lay the black pipe actually right now, the cast iron. It's kind of ironic because
What?
we're talking. You guys are talking about.
Are you black or white,
talking about
son?
Donald Trump. I'm mixed. I'm black, and my dad's Puerto Rican. My mom's black.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm really mad because I don't really watch TV that often. So like a lot of the news that I get is pretty much when I go to work, you know, at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I listen to your Breakfast Club Rewind, and then I listen to a little bit of the Breakfast Club, and then I got to get out and go to work.
All right.
But I hear yesterday and a little bit today that, you know, Donald Trump is calling countries Israel countries.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And I gotta come home and I gotta deal with my contentious family because, you know, this one white individual is affecting my life and everyone in my household's life, and it makes it really difficult for me to get up in the morning to go to work and work for like 17 white people that are like the epitome of Donald Trump followers.
I understand totally what you mean, but you got to go in there today and you have to tell those people, in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., since it is MLK weekend, the ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. So if you're co-signing Donald Trump still at this point, you're bad. And if you're silent about what Donald Trump is doing and you're a white person, you're bad as well.
I guess I'm gonna have to do that then.
Yes, man.
Have a good morning. Good luck. Don't get fired.
You too. All right.
Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is Mark.
Mark, where you calling from, Mark?
Calling from Jersey.
Jersey?
Jersey.
Okay, Mark.
Why you saying like Jersey
He's
all
Haitian.
fancy?
He's Haitian.
Jersey. Oh, I'm up. Some posse.
Tabbouleh all day, every day.
Let's go. I want the Haitian Massive heavy on the phone today. What you got to say, my brother?
Listen, I'm talking out right now. Before I go to work, I got to get this off my chest so I can have a good day.
Talk to me.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this to Donald Trump and all his supporters. If you don't start coming from Haiti, from the Haitians, or any country from the island, he will not leave he will not finish his time. And that's not a threat, that's the requirement.
Listen.
Say it in Creole so they can understand you better, brother.
Yes.
Haïtien, avec tout ce qui m'a Afrique là, il va finir par toutes ces gueules là, ou bien toutes ces gueules là, parce que bon, pour mettre passer, ça c'est vérité ma parole, et ma vision, là, directement mal.
Oh, you can't, I know you can't say get my money. I know you can't say that.
All I know is if I know my Haitians like I know my Haitians, Donald Trump will be coughing up a frog by Tuesday. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You want to call places like Haiti S-holes? You want to call Africa S-holes? You want to call El Salvador S-holes? I guarantee you, one of them Haitians is going to make sure you're defecating out your mouth. Your mouth is going to be the S-hole. I'm telling you what's going to happen. You're going to get sick. You're going to start sweating. You're going to feel like you can't eat. You're going to feel a pain in your stomach. You're going to feel like you got to doo-doo, but you're going to have to throw up, and it's going to be defecation that comes out your mouth. Watch.
You've been there before.
Watch.
I can tell you've been there before.
Watch. God damn it. Salute to Haiti.
You know too clearly. I know you've been there before. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. You got rumors on the way?
Yes, Lil Wayne is refuting reports that he has a 15-year-old son. We'll give you the details on what he has to say. Also, imagine you got your best friend fired from their job. We'll tell you what rapper this happened to, and he thinks it's unfair.
That's crazy. Lil Wayne don't want to claim Lil Twist no more. How Lil Twist is?
Stop it. All right, we'll get it to Twist is over to 15.
Oh.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hey.
DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club on this Friday.
Drop one of the clues bombs for all my Haitians, damn it. Where them dolls at? Where them dolls at?
Where them dolls at?
Where them dolls at?
You alright over there, Yee?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm a little sick, that's all.
Oh, you won't be the only one. Our celebrity in chief, Mr. Dope 45. If I know my Haitians like I know my Haitians, he'll be sick real soon too.
I'm getting better though.
All right, well, let's get to the rumors and talk Lil Wayne.
Well, Lil Wayne wants to have a legal showdown, and that's all because a woman is saying that he is the father of her 15-year-old son. Now he wants a paternity test, and he said, I did not engage in a sexual relationship with Keoshia Watson in June of 2001 or at any other time. He said in June of 2001, I was residing in New Orleans, but my professional commitments required me to travel a great deal throughout the United States. I do not believe it is possible that I am the biological father of Dwayne Brown. I have never acknowledged Dwayne Brown as my son, nor was I ever made aware of this birth until I was served with the petition filed in August.
And why did the young lady wait so long? That's a whole old man now, 15 years old.
And he's named after him.
I don't mean nothing.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying, so that's even crazier.
Well, he doesn't have to, if he is the father, he doesn't have to pay for the previous 15 years.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
yes,
What
you
talking
do.
about?
Absolutely.
You gonna hold that little boy like Birdman on him? Yes, he will.
All right, Rick Ross, how would you get his attention if you were an aspiring rapper? Well, I'll tell you what one person did. Cedric Miller, 23 years old, is a suspect who actually tried to rob a Wingstop in order to get Rick Ross's attention.
No, you didn't. Why are you saying things like this on the radio this morning?
Oh, my goodness.
For what? For entertainment purposes? What is this fake story you're telling us right now?
I'm just telling you, he was a suspect in an attempted robbery at the Wingstop in Memphis. And according to reports, he just wanted to make sure that Rick Ross would listen to his music at some point.
You really think Rick Ross gonna listen to your music after you tried to rob one of his establishments? What logic is that? I'm going to do something good for you after you did something bad to me. What's up with y'all, man?
He probably thinking like, yo, he gonna think I kept it real. No.
He went through a lot to try to get my attention, man. I'm a sign this guy.
No.
All right, Paul Wall, one of his closest friends, just got fired from United Airlines after 16 years. Now, if you don't know what happened, Paul Wall was flying for free using one of those family passes, a buddy pass. And he said, wow, this is unbelievable. A close family friend was fired by United Airlines after 16 years with no infractions for allowing me to fly on his pass to do charity work out of town. More details coming. Please retweet. Now, according to Paul Wall, he flew on this pass plenty of times, but he said the airline started digging into his flight history after he went in on them on Twitter. So I guess Paul Wall had some issues with United on Twitter.
Well, that'll do it.
All right.
That'll do
you
it.
want to rock the boat? Okay.
That'll do it.
You know, when you fly on those passes, you have to, like, you cannot do it. You
No, you're
cannot
supposed to dress
have
up.
an
They gave you back to
attitude,
wear a
can't
suit,
do
all
it.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Paul, you kind of called that on yourself.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Come on now.
Now, United Airlines said, we restrict this benefit to leisure travel. Mr. Wall used these travel benefits for business purposes, which our policy does not permit. Now, Paul Wall said that his friend is a combat disabled veteran, and he was actually very close to retirement after working with United for 16 years.
Paul, I can't believe that you was getting something for free and had the nerve to complain. Hey, Paul, what is your problem, Paul? You was getting it for free and had the nerve to complain? What's wrong with you, bruh? Come on, Paul Wall, you know better than that.
Right, so for everybody out there flying on your friend's pass, just remember, these things do happen. They don't play around.
Did you offer to do anybody at United's Grill for free, Paul? Maybe that could smooth this over a little bit.
Too late now.
But that sucks. Imagine getting your friend fired.
Because you can retire after 20 years, so you have 4 more years to go.
What Angelique said is absolutely accurate. Paul Wall got his friend fired. Don't get on Twitter and act like you don't know why United fired him.
That's a
They fired him
terrible
'cause of you.
feeling, like it's my fault. All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor
I
report.
wish I would complain about something for free. It was free. It's free.
It's free. All right, well, thank you for those rumors. When we come back, G-Eazy will be in the building. We'll kick it with G-Eazy, so don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Whoa, it's great. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, G-Eazy.
G-Eazy.
What's up, son? Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
It's your first time up here, right?
Yeah, first time.
First time,
Okay.
yeah, last.
You said the first and last.
No, I said at last.
Oh,
I was like, damn, what did we do?
Yeah, first and last.
You got stuck in the elevator. You got stuck in the elevator.
Yeah, I thought it was a rap, man. I thought I was dumb. Like, this is not how I go.
But only 3
Of
artists
all
got stuck in
ways,
the elevator.
man.
It was Tyrese
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
not
the game.
you're in bad
Yeah.
company already. They go to the game for it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm
But
gonna do a lot of movies, that's all.
But the Beautiful and Damned, let me tell you something. I'm not a Gemini, I'm a Cancer, right? But I can relate to that record a lot. All right, you say, have you ever seen a devil with a halo?
Yeah.
Everybody got their own demons, everybody fighting their own war. What are you struggling with that inspired that?
Just trying to maintain. Just trying to stay me. You know what I'm saying? This life is a roller coaster. So,
You think people aren't sympathetic because they look at it and they're like, oh, G-Eazy's doing great. He has the #1
I mean, there's
song.
always that, yeah,
But
but
then, personally, you go through a lot that people don't know about.
I think everything is relative. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through what they go through. And all I can tell is my story. You know, I'm not trying to look for sympathy through it or nothing like that.
Throughout the album, it seems like you battling with drugs and alcohol heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, you really?
I dabble.
You dabble?
I dabble, yeah.
Don't let LA
Do my
suck you
thing.
alive, man.
But that's the thing. That's what a lot of it is about. You know what I'm saying?
About Hollywood.
About Hollywood moving there. Yeah.
But you've gotten better, you said also.
Day to day.
Day to day, you're
Yeah.
trying to control
I'm
it.
doing
'cause
all
it
right. Yeah.
When were you really out of control?
And what's you got? Liquor? What's this you got in front of you here? That's liquor?
Yeah, it's liquor in my coffee.
No, I
you know
mean, it
what
was
I'm saying?
that
Yeah, this is my
like
stuff
gasoline
actually.
liquor.
Yeah, that is my gasoline. I invested in a whiskey company. It's called Stillhouse.
Mhm.
I'm trying to grow up and be like Puff.
We actually have some here, the peach one.
Yeah.
Is that smart though? If you dealing with something?
Nah, I'm good. Yeah. I figure if I'm gonna drink it, I might as well, you know what I'm saying? Try to own it and build something for myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you big on astrology? Because you mentioned being a Gemini.
I don't really know not too much about it. I just know that I'm a Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm definitely very, very that. What's the characteristic of Cancer?
Sensitive, emotional, hard exterior, softer interior.
Let's see, that's the duality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. They're all kind of.
You probably just know about being a Gemini, though, because there are. I think Geminis, out of all the signs, probably are the most like crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a psycho. Definitely crazy.
Geminis, I know, are
Definitely a
crazy.
Patrick Bateman.
What do you mean a psycho?
Yeah, definitely a little crazy, but I think the best of us are. A lot of artists are Geminis, and I think there's that duality in terms of like, you know, your life as an artist, you know what I'm saying, and everything that the music and art represents, and then that you're still a person at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. That Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you take that hide off, you still got to be that person when you go see moms, you know what I'm saying? When you go spend time with family, all that. So
I mean, you're covered in blood on your album cover.
yeah.
What was that about?
That's just a bad hangover.
That's a really bad hangover. Really covered in blood. By the way, my man, God bless the Godfather Elvis Duran. Elvis Duran told us one time that if you're out and about and you wake up in the morning, it wasn't a good night if there's no blood on the pillow.
Well, oh wow. Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
That was a deal.
Openly, yes.
All right, well, let's talk about this whole this whole H&M situation. Obviously, I know you're ready to talk about that, but you had a situation with H&M. You had a clothing line that you did with them that was supposed to come out in March.
In March, yeah.
And then you had to step back from that.
Yeah.
So contractually, you're able to...
It was, I mean, yeah, because contractually, there's nothing in the contract that says if we do something racist, you get out the deal. You know what I'm saying? So we were just
but
like...
if you do something racist, they
if an artist does something bad, you know what I'm saying? They pull the rug out instantly. But, I mean, when I saw that, you know, feeling how I felt, it wasn't even like a conversation. It was just like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you feel
I call my people and like, get me out of this. Because it's not cool. I'm not putting my name on this. Like, it's not okay.
Even with the mom saying she didn't care about it, and it was just light stuff.
I mean, it's so big. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the world. Like, this is the world right now, being as connected as we are. You know what I'm saying? With the internet and things going viral and creating a conversation and a dialogue, it can happen that fast, and all of a sudden you got the whole world looking and watching and talking about it. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm very, 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 like guarded with what I put my name on. You know what I'm saying? Like, who I do a record with, what I attach my name to, what I co-sign, because that's all you have is your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your whole respect as a person. If I would do anything for a check and put my name on anything, even if I didn't like it or wear it or drink it or nothing like that, then who am I as a human being? But so I was excited about H&M, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a big opportunity to put clothes all around the world, you know what I'm saying, and do something that I actually liked, you know what I'm saying, and was cool with. And then I saw that happen, and it was like, I'm not cool with this. Like, I'm out. Period.
How much money did you walk away from?
A lot.
Millions? And
a lot. Like, a lot.
Like
it's not even
like think about it, money.
But you can't miss what you don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just like,
you can miss it. Yeah, you can definitely.
I mean, I definitely had plans.
You
know what I'm saying? I was buying miles a house off that check. Period. You know what I'm saying? But I've always been a big believer in, like, if you believe in yourself, then this isn't the last time it'll come around. You know what I'm saying? My value didn't go nowhere. Like, my value to whatever they saw in me to want to put that money up and get behind me, I still got that. You know what I'm saying? The next opportunity that comes knocking when it's right, you know what I'm saying?
Now, if they apologize and they
did apologize
and they hired some minorities, would you open back up to even thinking about maybe doing business again with them?
Would you?
If they hire some minorities and some people that look like me in position of power where they can make better decisions, I would think about it.
Nah, I mean, that's just like putting a Band-Aid over something. Like, the damage is done.
The damage is definitely done. And me personally, I felt like their statement was pretty, you know.
It's pretty like,
Their statement was right.
Yeah.
Well, so was this a real move or a PR stunt?
This is a real move.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Nobody walks away from millions and millions of dollars just as a...
I mean, but it's not even, I don't want to get too focused on the money, because at the end of the day, like, money can't buy everything, period. You know what I'm saying? What I'm supposed to do is just have that money and be a terrible human being who's, you know what I'm saying, promoting a company that's doing something like that. Like, I don't care. Like,
but for you, this could be, it could have been career suicide, because you're a white rapper.
Yeah.
This happens. Next thing you know, a couple months from now, you see G-Eazy with H&M ass.
Yeah.
Now
it's gross.
They would kill you.
It's gross. Disgusting.
You think you would Bill Cosby 2 years ago?
Yeah. It's terrible.
So from the business side of things, because you did go to school and study the music business as well, this would have been a terrible move regardless.
Yeah, but I really, at the end of the day, before business comes, you know what I'm saying, principles. Just being a human. And that's really what it comes down to.
Now, it was hard breaking into the I want to say the hip hop community. Was it? Because I remember I don't know if y'all remember. You remember the first time G-Eazy was trying to compare? And we turned him down.
No, I think that was you who did it.
No, it wasn't just me. It was us. Don't throw that on me. We turned him down the first time, because
I don't even remember.
Now you don't remember.
I don't. If I remembered, I would have said
so. Was it hard getting acceptance from the hip hop community at first?
I don't know. I've been making music a long time. It's been hard to get anything to stick, period. You know what I'm saying? I was selling mixtapes out of my backpack in 2006 in downtown Oakland. Like, talking about support your local hip-hop to people walking by with a CD player. Talking about listening to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was ugly and dry for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? And even when it started to stick, it still wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like what it was. Even now, like No Limit's my biggest record ever. All these years later. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a long process in general.
And how did that record happen? Because I read somewhere that A$AP Rocky was in the studio next door, so it wasn't like it was.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I've known Rocky forever. I opened his first New York show. I met Rocky like right when like Peso came out. You know what I'm saying? When he was first buzzing, we had some mutual friends. He came through and kicked it, and we just smoked and just talked. And he was like, "Yo, I want you to come out to New York and open up my show. It's my first real New York show." And I'm kind of bugging, you know what I mean? I'm like, New York, what? You know what I mean? I go out there and it's like, you sure you want me on this show?
You must have some good weed.
Man. So, yeah, this is the first time I did my thing.
New York
I
is
walked
rock.
on that stage,
New York is rock.
they see me walk out on that stage like, who the hell is this? With slick back hair looking like a,
They're like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, nah, I was ready, you know what I'm saying? They were ready to boo me. But I'm like, nah. I walked on that stage and you know what I'm saying? Like, I did my thing. But this is the first time we did a song. He was in the studio right next to me, and we just, you know what I'm saying, I walked in, tapped in, and said, what's up? And
what about Cardi?
Like, show me what you've been working on.
You reached out to Cardi early, like before Bodak was #1, before she was the darling of the dance.
Yeah. I just think she's incredible. Period.
I think what made you
even before, like when her mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just watching her and following her. I just felt like her brand, her whole image, her whole personality really was just this unapologetic, just, you know what I'm saying? She was her. She was comfortable in her skin. She was not holding back, not biting her tongue for nothing. She was doing her, and she was moving. She was moving. She was actually getting, like, you know what I'm saying, on iTunes, and like people were following, and she really had like a fan base. And we played a show together, and I met her backstage, and then I went out to the crowd and watched like her perform. And I feel like that's when you can really tell if somebody's like, because you're right there, you know what I'm saying? It's not like in the studio, like, oh, let me punch in, let me clean this up, let me mix this. You're right there in front of people. And you got to win people over, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're really just staring at you like this. I'm talking about, like, when I walked on stage opening for Rocky, you know what I mean? They're looking at me like what? So she did her thing, and I was just like, she's a superstar.
You got a record with Haley called Him and I.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, I guess, your girlfriend, you know, I assume. And you say y'all do drugs together, which is ironic because this past week it was a picture floating around of her allegedly sniffing cocaine with you somewhere.
Yep.
What's that about?
I don't know. I was on
I
was go figure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's New Year's Day. It's Miami. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a yacht. What do you think I'm doing? You think I'm smoking weed? Yeah. My name is Gerald. Yeah.
You guys are both very.
How do y'all handle stuff like that though? Like when you see the pictures. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's like when, you know what I'm saying, we're on the middle of the water, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody with a mile long lens.
That's a long lens, bro.
That's a long lens, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, can I live? Like we're literally in the middle of nowhere enjoying ourselves. It's a holiday, whatever. And you know, that kind of thing, like leaving restaurants and paparazzi being outside, this is new to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird thing not having that, you know, kind of just privacy to just kind of live. Like it's a little weird, but I mean, that's whatever.
You think you're making her hot though?
Yeah, her name's not Haley. Her name is Halsey.
Her name is Halsey.
Halsey.
What I said?
Halsey.
You guys are both wrong. It's Halsey.
I can't pronounce
Oh my God.
It's Halsey.
Halsey.
Yeah, her name is Ashley.
I was close to
You guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you like? But do you think you're making her hot?
Like, can we make each other hot?
Yeah.
We big up each other.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean like, if I want to do drugs, I used to be able to do drugs on the low, but now.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
How did y'all meet? How did y'all connect?
Interesting story. I'll save that one for another time.
You won't ever tell that story. You always just say at a party.
Yeah, I mean,
What kind of party?
yeah. That's It was a birthday party. It was like a puff party. I'm inspired by puff parties. Yeah.
Did y'all meet
that's
over
big
a
bro.
line?
We met with Pamela Anderson. I'll leave it there.
Damn, I know some coke was
Oh my
involved.
gosh.
come on.
It already sounds like a crazy. I can't wait to hear this story.
And you said you like puff parties. Now, there's two kind of puff
Oh
parties.
my goodness. He said you set yourself up, G-Eazy. Set yourself up with
I don't
this
know. Puff says he's partied with Fab, but he hasn't party with Fab. I don't know what party means. So have you party
Hey,
with Puff or
man.
just party?
Go figure. Yeah, Puff, that's big bro, man. That's who I look up to. That's
No, I got love for Puff. I didn't always like Puff, but his energy has changed a lot.
Brother love.
Or maybe my energy's changed. I don't know. But he seems like a different
Puff's
person.
positive now.
Now, have you ever read the novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald?
I actually did. Yeah, it was hard to read. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard because back then, man, the writing was really big words and very dense. It probably took me like 6 months to a year to get through it.
But clearly it inspired you because you named the whole
Yeah. I actually liked it. Yeah.
So what in that book sparked
I think there was a relation to the 1920s. Basically back then everybody was drinking. It was before the Depression, and they were going out all the time. They were partying or whatever, and you kind of like you see them getting lost in the sauce a little bit. And what they don't know is the Great Depression's about to hit, and that's a real bad hangover. You know what I'm saying? The party's over. So it's kind of this spiral out of control into this. So the 1920s, I'm in my 20s, and if you think about music, you know, we really live kind of like a crazy lifestyle. It's very overindulgent, you know what I'm saying? If I'm on tour, it's Saturday for 6 weeks straight.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, we got after parties every night. I'm not going to drink water. I probably should. You know what I'm saying? But
and you could.
But you know what I'm saying? You're surrounded by it. It's always available, so it's there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, just trying to maintain and not get lost. Like you see people get lost, so just trying to.
And you felt lost for a while. You would say.
I flirted with it, yeah, but I don't think I ever felt fully lost.
Did you used to wake up like I'm never drinking again?
Oh yeah, that's the vicious cycle, and that's human behavior. It's like we'll feel like you wake up with the worst hangover and be like, I'm not doing this again, and by the time it's dark out, you know,
back to drink.
Right back to it.
Now, are there any privileges to being a white male in hip hop? Because you know I hear your story and you sound like you've had the same grind that everybody else.
Yeah, I'm a white male. I'm privileged everywhere.
Right.
And I'm aware of that. Everything's easier for me. Period. In terms of music, I still have to work to get my voice heard. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start rapping yesterday. I've been at this for over 10 years. You know, but I am aware of that.
When did you first become aware of your privilege as a white male?
As a white male, I mean, growing up, period, my whole life. Yeah.
You saw differences between like you and
just being socially aware. Of the world and how it works and the world we still live in to this day. That's it. I mean, we can.
I respect it. I respect the honesty in that answer because so many people act like they're not aware of their privilege.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of your privilege to use your privilege to combat prejudice.
Yeah.
You think people respect you as a rapper in this game? Or?
I respect myself. Period. And that's what it is. I know that's what matters most.
I think you can rap. I think you make great records, actually.
Thank you.
I was wondering, like, you know, throughout the album, like, you know, you talk about substance abuse. I don't know if it's recreational or if you're actually trying to escape something.
Well, I think that's a blurry line. That's not black and white. I think sometimes the line between recreational or just, you know what I'm saying, tapping in turns into leaning on or depending on or, you know what I mean, like escaping from. So.
What gets you out of that dark hole when you're in that dark?
Drugs.
No, I mean, drugs is there too.
Well, which dark hole are we talking about? Are we talking about being sober and needing those games, or are we talking about being too high?
Both.
Yeah, both. I mean, it's a balance. It's a vicious cycle. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be, you know what I mean, smooth and just like tap out for a couple weeks or whatever and just be, you know, and then go back and go crazy and then be like, okay, I'm too far on this side, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like a back and forth.
You had a song called Everything Will Be Okay off your When It's Dark Out album. Was that story true?
That story's true.
Y'all know about that?
No,
his mother left his dad, correct me if I'm wrong, your mother left your dad for another woman, and then that woman overdosed on pills and you discovered the body?
Yeah.
In the basement, right? Or something like that.
Yikes.
That's a difficult
That would
thing.
require therapy.
Music is therapy?
Music is definitely therapy. Actually, that verse was therapy. That's the first time I really told that story. Like, Juice is my best friend, and I never told him that story. Like, that was some shit I kept kind of, like, close.
Why? You trying to make it go away? Like, in your mind?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know psychologically why people, you know what I'm saying, bury what we bury, but that was definitely traumatic for me. I was what, 15, 16? And, you know, the whole entire thing, I mean, you know, I talk about in the verse, I say my mom's was, you know, with a woman, and at the time, it's a little more accepted now, but this is, you know, what, 2004, 2005, like, my mom brings her around, and she's like, this is my best friend, you know, and I'm like, okay, as a kid, like, why are you sleeping in the same bed as your best friend? She's always with us, you know what I'm saying? This don't really feel like a best friend situation. And then coming to find out, and then other kids being like, why does your mom have a rainbow, you know what I'm saying, bumper sticker on a car? You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to, like, ride in the car, feeling away, like, as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And then growing up, becoming a man, being like, F this. Like, if she loves her and she loves her, that's love. I don't give a f. Y'all respect that, period. Because she's doing for her what nobody else was. So coming to accept it, coming to like, and then, I mean, anytime when you're a kid, you know what I'm saying, and your parents are a rap and this other person comes in, and then to have it be that, you kind of have this like protectiveness. Like, my mom's my everything. Like, she worked 2 jobs, raising 2 boys, a single mom. Like, that's who I work for, that's who I do it for. Like, she's my everything, that's my queen. So having this other figure come in, and then finally growing up, maturing, and, you know what I'm saying, my mind opening up to being like accepting of this and learning to love her too, and then her kind of like spiraling into this addiction and hiding kind of in the basement, and then one night that happening, and it just being like, that happened, and now that's it.
How did your mom feel about the song when she heard it?
She cried. We both cried. I remember the first time I played it for her, because she loved the song.
Did you ever talk to your father about that situation? Because I'm sure that was traumatic for him too, having his wife leave for another woman.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him about that?
Yeah.
Now for this album,
you don't want to talk about it. I get it. I understand.
This album has 20 songs on it, but you recorded over 100 songs.
Yeah.
And had to pick 20. How does that process work?
We put the boxing gloves on, man. We was catching fades in the studio, man. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I just, it had been 2 years since the last album, and I built the studio in my house. I mean, I was bouncing around forever, like from tour to tour to tour to album to tour to whatever. So when I put the last album out, I toured that for 9 months straight. And then I cashed a check, I bought a house and put a studio in it. It was the first time I lived somewhere, like, you know, moving to LA. And that studio was my safe place. Like, I would go in every single night and work. And this is what I know how to do. If you put me in a workplace, I'm give you records.
Work, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up with a lot of music. And while I was in that vibe, I just kind of go unconscious. Like, I'm just like, don't distract me, don't bother me, don't come in here, just let me keep working. And I'll pop my head out when it's done. And I was like, hey, we got a lot of songs. You know.
How do you get away with rapping about smashing all these chicks when you're in a relationship? You talk about other chicks a lot.
Maybe they do it together?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You live in a real rock star lifestyle.
I come exactly as advertised.
No, I thought that you would be a mess, like one of those, like the way you look on your album cover with blood all over.
You thought he was gonna come here like that?
Hair on your shoulder. I'm serious. I thought that you would, just listening to your music, I thought you'd be an absolute mess. You seem to have it together.
I'm alright. I haven't started drinking yet. Let's see where this goes.
Do you drink every day?
No, you think I'm an alcoholic?
Yes.
Do you feel like you're socially awkward sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've seen G-Eazy out and about.
I mean, I'm either or. I'm either completely awkward or like the life of the party. That's
no in between.
I met you. I think the first time I met you in person, his security was Drake's old security.
Yeah.
And they was just telling me about how they had assignments to beat me up for years because of Drake.
I ran into him in Houston, and Charlamagne, thank God, didn't come. And I tried to go up on stage and run up there, and they made sure I didn't get on stage. I had to sneak back.
Being a thought.
And they told me,
I stayed in the
shut the f*** up. That was out
running to get a picture with Drake. Oh my God. He was running to get a picture with Drake.
Never mind.
Sit your beige, thirsty ass
They
down.
would beat the shit out of Charlamagne. They definitely was.
You don't run with that security no more?
Not him anymore. I think he's with The Weeknd.
I just remember seeing Drake on stage, and we could read his lips, and he was like, "Where's Charlamagne?"
He definitely asked me that question.
What do you do personally to avoid being labeled as a culture vulture? Because you don't get stuck with that label for whatever reason.
Just be myself.
Or
I can only be me. I'm like, you know, I wear what I like to wear. I make the music that I would like to listen to. You know what I'm saying? I do what I like to do. I'm just myself. That's all you can be. You can't reach. You can't try to disguise yourself as something else. That's it.
Now you had an ex, Lena Del Rey.
Lana.
You just
Y'all know I can't pronounce nothing. She clapped at you at her concert.
Did she?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She threw up the G. She said, "I'm not gonna name no names," and then she threw up a G or something like that.
How'd she do it?
I don't know how to throw up no G. How you throw up a G in sign language?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
That just means she cares.
If that's what it means, that's what it means.
What's your relationship like with her now?
We haven't talked in a long time.
G-Eazy, a real Oakland player. Like, he's really out here breaking hearts and like it.
She's a nice girl. She's real sweet.
Every time he wants to be saved from a question, he looks at me.
All right. I'll regret this when I'm sober.
Yeah.
What is the line? Yeah, I might regret this when tomorrow comes, but them drunk nights are more fun than sober ones. With every shot, they're like, here Kobe comes.
Yeah, Kobe, that's 81 points. Come on, man.
Oh, I was
that's
thinking
30 field goals a night.
I'm not gonna lie.
You think of what?
That's what I was.
Why would that be the first thing you
chill,
think
I
of?
regret this when I'm sober.
Yeah, with every shot, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, another shot. Another shot.
Here Kobe comes.
The punchline might have been a reach, it might have been a stretch, but you know what I'm saying?
What?
Because I couldn't think of that nose. I'm like, in that
rein that back in, man. Rein that back in. Hey, 8-24, man. That's GOAT right there, man. I have a signed Kobe jersey in my house, man. That's the coolest thing I got. It says to G-Eazy, do the phenomenal. And I have to walk past it every single day.
All right, now let's talk about the tour starting February 15th.
Yes.
He's like, back to the tour. No more on tour.
Okay. Yeah, the tour. Yeah, tickets are flying. The tour starts February 15th, coming to a city near you. Young Gerald, live in concert.
Yeah,
Oh, that's your first name, Gerald?
Gerald,
Gee,
yeah.
that's what the G
That's
stands
what
for.
the G stands for. Not got butt rapes.
Come on,
That was a reach.
that was a super reach.
That was a reach. Jesus Christ, Envy.
Yeah. Tour.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Tickets are flying.
Yes.
What's next for G-Eazy, man?
The tour, and then another tour, and then another tour, and then
Another album.
yeah, another album.
Then the Kalani
Release and repeat.
album.
You just gonna focus on music?
Release and repeat. Yeah.
I respect that because you have a lot of people who use rap to get into other lanes, especially white artists. They like to say, I'm not really a rapper. I just want to get into movies. Like,
Who
that's what
said that?
Logic said that up here, by the way. So you forgot. But I'm just
Logic,
like,
you were on tour with Logic.
but it's just like I like the fact that you're focused on the music. Like you take the culture
Yeah,
serious.
and this is like what I've been in love with since, you know what I'm saying, since.
Isn't Logic black? He's black. has
Sad
black
Biracial.
hair.
Respect that man's biracial struggle that he raps about all the time. Okay.
But yeah, the tour, and then
Jesus, like this is awkward.
the tour, and then you know what I'm saying, the rest of the world. We've been a lot of places, and it's a blessing. But gotta go back to them and see everything. Australia, New Zealand again, Europe. We did Asia for the first time this last year. That was crazy.
What continent got the best?
Colombia. Yeah, that's.
By the
Anyway,
way,
back to the tour.
they got good cocaine in Colombia too.
My goodness.
You know what I mean?
Goes hand in hand.
Anyway, yeah.
Don't die, G-Eazy. That's all I'm telling you, please.
Nah, man, I'm Gucci.
All right, don't be out here overdosing.
No.
Do you ever do like
I dabble.
You ever do a detox?
But yeah, absolutely. I just did one. Yeah.
After New Year's,
Yeah, a whole lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole lot of water,
Or
a whole lot of sleep.
you got a good team around you keeping your
I
head
got a
on?
great team, man. I got a really, really, really great team, and that's I know I already said it, but for real, like teamwork is everything. Having the right people to inspire you to, you know what I'm saying, lead you in the right direction. Everything.
Has there been a night that you felt like you was almost about to die because of drugs and alcohol? Have you gotten that high and
Nah, I mean, nah.
hanging out with Puff at the rubber furry wall or two just to stay focused?
On acid, just like.
Oh, yeah.
You never seen Get Him to the Greek?
No.
What?
Yeah, he was. You never saw Get Him to the Greek?
No.
Great movie.
That's not kinky.
Don't die, G-Eazy. That's all. That's my final words for you, man. I'm serious.
I guess
work
that's a
on
very
that one.
positive note.
He said,
Don't
I'll
die.
work on that
Thank
one.
you. Thank you. Duly noted.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks
it's
for the advice.
G-Eazy. It's the Breakfast Club. Album's out right now. Get your tickets for the tour. We appreciate you for joining us, man.
Much love. Thank you guys.
Breakfast Club, good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. It's
Yes, sir.
Friday.
Yes, it is. It is Friday. It is the weekend. Martin Luther King weekend, too. Oh, man. That means, oh, no, we working Monday.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're off on Monday.
We just got back. Well, I just got
No,
back.
you just got back.
Oh, I ain't okay. You ain't got to tell me. Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh, we all working Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who said we weren't?
Don't be playing with my emotions now.
All right, well, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Oprah.
Well, Seal posted on Instagram a couple of days ago a couple of photos with Oprah Winfrey and Harvey Weinstein. In one of those photos, she is kissing Harvey Weinstein's cheek, and he said, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." And then he said, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young, starry-eyed actresses who in turn had no idea what they were getting into. My bad." And then he put the hashtag sanctimonious Hollywood.
Listen, I'm not the biggest proponent of Oprah Winfrey running in 2020, but that is just a reach. Like, how are you getting mad at her for pictures she took with Harvey Weinstein before everybody knew Harvey Weinstein was the serial sexual assaulter that he was?
All right.
That doesn't make any sense.
And then
stupid.
Juanita Broderick, she's a 75-year-old retired nurse, also tweeted out, "Hey Oprah, funny, I've never heard you mention my name. Can you hear me now? Guess not. My rapist is your friend Bill Clinton." Why would she even know about that, though?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, how is she supposed to know all these things that's going on in other people's lives?
These are allegations.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of allegations, the woman Violet Paley, who was saying that James Franco forced her head into his lap while his penis was exposed, is saying that she was in a consensual sexual relationship with James Franco when they were sitting in a car and he pressured her into performing oral sex on him, something she had not done to him before. She was an aspiring filmmaker, and she said the power dynamic was really off. Well, some people are now questioning her because of a tweet that she put up just a few months ago. She had tweeted out, "I like planning ways to ruin someone's life the moment I meet them." Now, Violet Paley is saying to TMZ, "I use Twitter to make jokes most of the time. It was clearly a joke. I'm sorry if I offended anyone, and I think most people know it was a joke, and the people milking it are Trump-like bot trolls, so I'm not deleting it and letting their psychotic twist on a dumb joke win." So they're using that against her now. All right, keeping up with the Kardashians. Find out something great that happened from watching that show. Ex-NFL lineman Brandon Albert decided to donate $1 million, and that is to Alexandria House's mission. Now, here's what he had to say.
We just want to thank you, Kim, for bringing your amazing crew here for Alexandria House.
And what we'd like to offer to you is a gift of stories. We'd like to start with Madison.
Most people don't understand, the homeless. They think that, oh, you had to have been a bad kid, you had to have run away. I was an athlete. And for whatever reason, my mom, she just couldn't deal. She was on drugs, and she kicked me out the house at 17, and I found myself homeless.
So that was the episode he was watching of Alexandria House. It's a shelter for homeless women and homeless women with kids in LA. While he was watching that episode, he said it really hit home for him because he grew up in a single-parent home where his mom and aunt worked many jobs to make ends meet. So he donated $1 million to Alexandria House. And right now they're saying that they plan to buy another complex to accommodate the 600 or so people that they turn away every month because they just don't have space. And they would not have been able to do that without Brandon's donation. So that's a beautiful situation. Now, Ray J is being sued, and he's being sued for $30 million because of his scooty bikes. Someone by the name of Jean Paul is saying that he and Ray J spoke about starting that business to market electric scooter bikes back in 2015, and he thought that Ray J's celebrity would be helpful in pushing that bike out to the masses. And he says Ray J agreed to become an investor and an endorser, but then later on, I guess he's saying that Ray J just basically stole the idea from him. Now, Ray J is saying it was his idea, so this $30 million lawsuit is a shakedown. All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne!
You still ride your scooty bike?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, my kids still ride the bike. They actually charged it yesterday because it was nice out, and they had it charged yesterday, so they still ride that scooty bike.
Yeah, my wife and my daughter definitely ride it. I've never rode it.
Yeah. All right, well, who you giving your donkey to?
Listen, man, I need our cracker-in-chief, Donald Trump, and his base to come to the front of the congregation. We like to have a word with him. Okay, all my Haitian massive salute. All right, where your dolls at?
All right, how do you say donkey today coming up next in Creole? Say it. Boulik.
What? I give me some time. I don't know.
All right, Boulik. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Oh man. Donkey of the day for Friday, January 12th goes to Dope 45, our celebrity in chief and his bigoted base, Donald J. Trump. This is the Donald's first donkey of 2018, but we casting a wide net with this one because this is going to his bigoted base, the people who continue to support Donald Trump in spite of his blatant racism, bigotry, prejudice, misogyny, and all-around bull caca. Now, if you haven't heard, On Thursday, yesterday, the White House had a meeting about Caribbean and African immigrants, and after an attendee proposed to restore protections for immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and some African nations ravaged by war and natural disasters as part of a larger immigration deal, Donald Trump, according to the Washington Post, asked the question, why are we having all these people from sugar, honey, iced tea, whole countries come here? You don't believe me? Let's go to CNN's Don Lemon. He's more of a reputable source than me.
The President of the United States is racist. A lot of us already knew that. Today, President Trump, talking with lawmakers in the Oval Office about immigrants from Haiti, from El Salvador, and Africa, said, and I quote, "Why are we having all these people from whole countries come here?" And CNN is told that he went on to say, "Why do we need more Haitians? Take them out."
Let's be clear. The only asshole I see on this planet is Donald Trump's mouth, okay? Once again, for the final time, racist, bigoted white people are and will be referred to as crack-ass crackers and white devils. Okay, Donald Trump is the cracker-in-chief. And if you're more mad about me calling racist bigots crackers than you are having a president who builds walls instead of bridges, then you're part of the problem. My guy, Joe Wright 86 on Twitter said this morning, it's crazy Donald Trump supporters will make racist remarks but don't like to be called racist. Nah, you getting all that energy back and then some. All right, let me tell you something, man. If I know my Haitians like I know my Haitians, okay, Donald Trump should be sick by Tuesday. All right, I expect Donald Trump to be coughing up a frog or turning into one by Tuesday. You want to call places like Africa, El Salvador, and Haiti assholes? But when you start having an uncontrollable sweat and your stomach starts rumbling and you lose all your appetite and then you start feeling like you have a terrible case of diarrhea and you run to the bathroom to defecate, Mr. President, but instead you throw up and instead of vomit, feces comes out your mouth, then you will understand that your mouth has been turned into an actual asshole. Drop one of the clues bombs for my Haitian massive. All right? Where them dolls at? Now, Donald Trump has showed me a long time ago who he is, and I believe him. My question is this to his bigoted base, to the people who voted for him. Why y'all still trying to act like y'all don't believe him? Now, I don't think everyone who voted for Trump is a racist, but I do believe in this moment, everyone who continues to still support Trump is definitely racist. If you're not racist, then you're an accomplice to racism, okay? We all know all white people aren't prejudiced. That's just a ridiculous notion. But since it's Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, let me give you a quote from MLK Jr., okay? MLK said, "The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people." If you are a so-called good white person, prove it. Use your privilege to combat prejudice. If you are defending Donald Trump at this point, cool. I like overt racists. I like knowing where people stand. Let's draw a line in the sand. You don't like niggas, fine. I don't like racist, bigot, crack-ass crackers. We can segregate ourselves, okay? If I know you're a racist, I know to stay away from you. But the racists who are open with the racism aren't the problem. It's those of you who are silent about what Trump is doing. You're the problem. You a real American? You believe in equality, liberty, and justice for all. If you believe that, then why aren't you speaking out? Okay, this has nothing to do with conservative and liberal, Republican and Democrat. This has to do with right versus wrong, good versus evil, God versus Satan. This is about having a commander-in-chief that builds bridges, not walls. It's time to pick a side. I'm not trying to be diplomatic with racists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Donald Trump's whole bigoted base can suck my big black Zozo. Okay? All right? To the Make America Great Again crowd, you do know America is great because of immigrants. America was built by immigrants. Salute to Philip Mudd. He is a white male. He's the ex-deputy director of the CIA's Counterterrorist Center and the FBI's National Security Branch. He was on Don Lemon last night, and he was so eloquent speaking on the subject of America being built by people from these S-holes that Trump talks about. Now, I love the fact that Philip Mudd was letting the S-hole fly on CNN, but we can't because we not cable. Trust me, I asked last night. All right, let's hear it.
I'm not surprised. In one way, I'm proud. I am a proud holder. My family was called wops and mackerel eaters. I'm proud of that. We came when people from Ireland and Italy were seen as dirty people, dirty Catholics who didn't belong in a Protestant country. Holders built this country 110 years ago. They were called slopers and slant eyes. I worked for holders who protected this country after 9/11. I'm proud today to be and I want a t-shirt, hashtag I am them. It's about the people who built America and who we denigrated until we became ashamed and we realized that's inappropriate, and we're learning the lesson again today.
A round of applause to Philip Mudd. We're not getting no t-shirts though. Okay, we're not embracing the S-hole thing, all right? Tired of turning these crackers terrible terms into terms of endearment, okay? I don't even know this guy, Philip Mudd, but I love him because he was on CNN not biting his tongue, all right? He was telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This is ex-deputy director of the CIA's counterterrorist center and the FBI's national security branch on CNN with Don Lemon speaking truth to power. Let's hear more of this. This is on CNN. I love this.
A white honky from Norway can come here, but a black dude from Haiti can't. What does that tell you in America that in one generation called you a nigger? What does that tell you, Don? I can tell you that what that tells a honky like me. We're no different than we were a generation ago, and we're learning the same lessons that we learned when we called a Chinese man a slant eye, when we called a man from Guatemala a spick and a wetback, and we called a black man a nigger.
Even though he on our side, that ER still hurt.
That hurt. That
still stuck. It's still stuck. But simple and plain. That's it, baby. Okay, that's what it's about. This is about the good people, the Americans of all races, genders, and sexualities who really believe in equality, who really believe in liberty and justice for all. It's about us versus cracker white devils. Lines have been drawn. Teams have been chosen. Now ask yourself, what side of history do you want to be on? All right, if you're not sure what side to be on, choose the side that got the little old men in straw hats and fishnet shirts. Because those are going to be the people who ask to speak to Trump at a public appearance. Those are the people who are going to clap their hands and it's going to look like they doing the LeBron James pregame chalk toss ritual. All right? That's the side you want to be on, because when a Haitian goes, that's it. I don't know what you just said, but I just know when a Haitian goes, finish for that. Please give the cracker in chief Donald Trump and his base of bigots the biggest hee-haw. Now, you suck my big black Zozo, okay? I got no rap for y'all. None. Ain't no negotiations. We ain't got nothing to talk about, all right? Y'all are what y'all are. I am what I am, all right? Kiss my black ass, all right? Haitians coming to this country every day, B. Get you some soup, jumu, some ginger tea. You'll be all right. You tough, right? You tough, right? Here it is from there.
Yeah, you finished?
I'm perfectly fine. All right. Bring somebody in here to bring my spirits up, please.
All right, Lena Waithe.
There you drop that clues bomb for Lena Waithe, damn it. All right, executive producer and creator of The Shy, first black woman, female to win an Emmy for comedy writing, okay? Brilliant mind she is.
That's right. We'll kick it with her when we come back. Don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Miss Lena Waithe.
What up?
What up?
Now, I saw Lena last night. We chopped it up on behalf of 92Y.
Yeah.
It's like we did 2 interviews, though, because I was talking to her backstage and then we talked on stage. And she asked me, she said, now, has Envy actually seen The Shy?
I did.
I said, probably not.
I did see it for him. I'm going to tell you why I seen it.
Okay.
I was in the gym training, and my trainer was like, I got to check out The Shy. And I was like, why? He was like, Charlamagne posted on his Instagram that it made him cry like a little bitch. So he was like, I got to go see it.
I didn't say that. What I said was Jason Mitchell has almost made me cry twice.
Oh.
And one of those scenes was from The Shy.
So I said I had to see it. So I watched it.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Lena, ask him a question.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to ask you something that won't give anything away, but what is the scene that you think made Charlamagne almost cry?
That made me actually cry.
Oh, wow, that's big.
When the boy with the afro.
Who's the boy with the afro?
The boy with the afro.
Okay.
The boy with the afro.
Are you going to give something away?
I wasn't an afro, but go ahead.
Long hair,
the curly hair. Yeah, because when
By the way, when I saw him and his hair, I was like, why can't my hair look like that?
When they
luxurious.
When they told him, he was like, yeah, it was a boy that looks like he rides his bike with an afro. When he got...
Oh, all right, Andy, come on. Some people haven't seen it.
No, that's not actually.
Let me tell you a little bit.
It was a scene at the funeral.
At the funeral.
Okay.
At the funeral. At the funeral.
But you know what didn't make sense is that he said Jason Mitchell almost made him cry. Jason Mitchell is not in that scene with the kid what you're talking about.
Well, he said what made him cry. He said what almost made him cry.
This is getting a little sketchy. Here's a question. Did you like it?
I loved it, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very
Did you tweet about it? Did you post about it?
No, I didn't post about it.
You need to post about it. Come on, brother.
I didn't post about it.
Come on, we got to stick together.
You know why I didn't post about it? Because we have a rule in my house that I can't watch a show without my wife, and I watched it without my wife.
Okay.
And it'll be destruction in my house.
Here's the deal.
I have to watch it with my wife, then I can.
That's what I need.
She doesn't know yet.
I need you and Gia, right?
Gia.
Okay, Gia. Okay, please, I need y'all to watch it together.
Okay.
All right, and then both of y'all tweet about it.
Okay, you got
post
it.
about it.
You got it.
All right, I appreciate that.
Well, I tweeted about it, and that's how we got Jason Mitchell to come on the show.
Thank you for tweeting about it, Angela. I appreciate you.
I thought it was great, and then
thank you.
Shot my shot, and I said we would love to have you come on up here, and it worked out.
That's my boo.
Well, we got the creator of the show right here now, Lena. The first black woman to win a Emmy for comedy writing.
Correct. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You told me last night that you want to be the Kanye West of writing.
Yeah. I think my mission is to. It's interesting because a lot of people know me from Master from None, and they know the Thanksgiving episode, which I was very honored to win an Emmy for. But I think to me, you know, The Shy is another color in my voice, and I kind of want to keep surprising people. That's the thing we're talking about Kanye, and like every album felt so much different than the last one. You always didn't even know if it was the same artist, and that's what I want to do. I want to keep surprising people. I want people to kind of like always be guessing, like, what am I going to do next?
Right, because it's so different from Master of None.
Absolutely.
And Chicago's a hard place to represent well, but obviously you're from there, and Common's an executive producer on it. But people from Chicago will raise hell.
Oh my God. And they be, you know, nitpicking some things. They done got at me. But that's my thing, you know, I don't ever want to sit there and go, okay, I got it. I'm good. I don't need no input. You know, to me, I was talking to Charlamagne last night. It's like, I feel like the audience is such a huge part of my career, all of our careers. Like, we can't do this without them. And I really, really appreciate their feedback. I want to hear from them.
Explain The Shy a little bit. It's not just about the Shy Town. It talks about gun violence and the trickle effect. So talk to people about what was your mindset when you created this?
Well, I was, you know, it was like 3 years ago when I wrote the pilot, and I was living in Los Angeles, and, you know, and all my family still lives in Chicago. I always run back there all the time, and I just feel so connected to the city. And I was watching all these news stories. Like, it was really hot in the news like 3 years ago. It was just the gun violence, the deaths, it was just getting to be really out of control.
It was pretty high.
It is still crazy, but I think, you know, the tough thing is, you know, the news, sometimes they get bored with the story and move on. So it's like, you know, the people are still there. They're still struggling with things. And so I was just watching it, and I was seeing people go into the city and reporting on it, and which I appreciate, but at the same time, like, these are foreigners going into my city who don't know what it's like to survive a winter there, who don't know what it's like to run the streets in the summer there, who just don't know the heartbeat of the city. And I know the heartbeat because I used to fall asleep to it every night. And so for me, I was like, I want to be able to tell the story. And I was reading so much like Baldwin at the time, a lot of Langston Hughes, and I was seeing how they would tell stories about us. And really paint a really vivid picture of who we are as a community. And I thought to myself, I was like, oh, I want to try to do this for Chicago, because I feel like there wasn't any humanity behind the headlines. They were just numbers. They were just statistics. And I know those people, and I think there's a story behind every statistic, and I kind of want to tell their story so people would not be so desensitized to the deaths, because I think we have been dehumanized in the public eye, and I think that's problematic.
Now, I know you have a love for different world. And
Yes.
you call yourself a Hillman grad.
Yeah.
After learning what we learned about Bill Cosby, how do you separate the art from the artist?
You know, I think it was devastating for me because the Cosby Show and A Different World literally changed the course of my life. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for those two shows. It was like a life jacket for me, you know, growing up on the south side of Chicago as, like, you know, a kid living in my grandmother's house. So what he did may break my heart, but it doesn't take away, you know, the character of Whitley Gilbert. It doesn't make, you know, these phenomenal episodes of television go away. I think we all remember the episode with Tisha Campbell and the HIV episode and talking about the LA riots, or the phenomenal episode called Mammy Dearest, where they sort of deal with the sort of dark skin, light skin thing. I mean, those memories are ingrained into my mind. Like, that doesn't make all that go away. That still resonates inside of me. And so it was really tough, but for me, I always, it's not going to make me feel any less joyful when I watch that show.
Right.
Or if I'm feeling down, I'll put it on and I'll just feel like I'm at home.
When that show made me go to Hampton, that was the reason why I went to university.
Yeah.
Because Hillman is kind of like HU, the way the calf
Absolutely.
and the grill was. That's why I went to Hampton.
Yeah, you know, it changed so many of our lives and has such a huge impact on us. I don't think you can throw the baby out with the bathwater on that one.
What did you think about some of the other movies and flicks made about Chicago, like Chirac and some of those others?
Well, look, I mean, I think to me, I think I'm very flattered that people want to write about the city. You know, I think it's a beautiful city. It's an enchanting city. It's a complicated city. But I think because of that, I think if you aren't from there, you're going to get a lot of flack from Chicagoans. I don't think I'm as rough on folks. I know how hard it is to make stuff. It's hard to make movies. It's hard to make TV shows. So I give anybody credit for making anything. And I know folks gave Spike a hard time. He's a big reason why I'm here. So I can't ever, come at him ever.
But you couldn't make a movie about Brooklyn without hollering at somebody from Brooklyn.
I mean, but I think he was hollering at people in Chicago. I think, but at the end of the day, that's Chicago through his lens. And that's his right, as a filmmaker. For me, I was like, this is Chicago through my lens, which is really specific. And it's a very, and I try to paint black people with a really tiny paintbrush. That's my mission, so that we can get a really clear picture of who we are.
Now, for the show Master of None, how many of those things that you wrote about are real life stories? Because there's some random, guy masturbating on the train, citizen's arrest.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't a writer on the show. And so, a lot of that stuff comes from Alan Yang and Aziz Ansari. That's them, pulling from their own life experiences. The first time I wrote on it was for the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to because...
And then you went and won an Emmy for it.
True. I'm very grateful. But I think I really didn't want it to be muddled, because I'm a writer first. And because I'd written The Chi, before I got cast on Master of None. And I thought, I was like, I don't want people thinking, well, she writes on this show, she stars on it. It's like, no, I didn't write anything in season 1. They met me and they were like, okay, we had another idea for this character. We thought she was going to be some chick that may have been a love interest for Dev. They're like, but we like that you're a black lesbian and kind of, have interest in swag, so we're going to rewrite all these other scripts that make her like you.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, cool. So I really trusted them and they knew my voice and they really appreciated my cadence. I was like, all right, cool, let's do this. But then in season 2, when I circled back with Aziz and we're talking about just life stories, I told them about my coming out story and they were really entertained by it. And I didn't think my coming out story was that extraordinary or fascinating. Maybe because it was mine, but they were like, no, that's an episode. And I was like, okay. And then and he was like, we should get Angela Bassett to play your mom. I was like, okay, keep wishing. And then Angela was like, she read the script and she was like, yeah, I'd love to come play with you guys and do this. And then I was like, oh well, now I can't be messing up now. I got to really get this together. And then Melina Masukis, the phenomenal Melina Masukis, agreed to come and direct it, and Kim Whitley, who is a living legend, came and played my aunt. And we all got that family member who's cool with you being gay when everybody else is, on the struggle bus. And it just turned out to be this phenomenal experience. And that's why I said, the Emmy was icing. I had such an amazing experience doing that, and the response I got was phenomenal. I didn't know how much the culture needed that episode of television. I really, really didn't, because so many people reached out and was like, finally, we're seeing someone that reflects us and you're telling our story. Because I think so many people think, a black person coming out, they're gonna throw the Bible at you and kicking you out. My family still can't quote the Bible to save their life. they it was more about a keeping up with the Joneses thing in my family. It was like, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna think? And and I was talking to Charlamagne last night, my mom, was born into a segregated America. She was born in 1953. And so for her, what it means to be a good black person is to make sure white people don't feel uncomfortable around you. And I think for me, I just I didn't care if when I walk into a room, the energy changes. I didn't care to shout from the rooftops. Yeah, I'm proud to be black. I'm proud to be gay. I'm proud to be a woman. And then I realized how much of an anomaly I was in the industry. Because if you look at how many black people are in Hollywood and how many out gay black people there are in Hollywood, the numbers just don't add up. It don't make sense. So I know I get a lot of credit for being out and proud and all those things, and I'm grateful, and I get it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll happily carry the torch because somebody got to do it. But I think for me, what I hope is with my success and just my career and my trajectory, I hope that somebody looks at me and goes, you know what? Maybe it ain't that bad. Maybe I should just stop trying to be pretending to be something I'm not, because that's the thing that always saddens me is that I look around, at the BET Awards or NAACP Awards and kind of look around and go, I wish everybody here could be themselves completely, because I still think it's an issue and there's still a level of shame that goes along with it, which is unfortunate.
Do you think it's everybody's business though? Some people choose to come out the closet and some people are just my sexuality isn't your business.
I think that argument held water a little bit longer ago, but now I think it's imperative that, especially if you're a person of color, because the truth is, for me, when I was a young black girl who knew I was different, was watching TV, I would always be staring at the TV set, looking for myself.
Right.
And I didn't see me. And when you don't see yourself, you start to think that you don't matter. Or you start to think that something is wrong with you. So for me, I take it as a responsibility to be out as hell, black as hell, female as hell, so that way when some young brown kid is sitting at home and turns on YouTube and watching y'all, or turns on Netflix to watch Master of None, or is watching The Chi, or whatever it is, they will say, oh, that's me, and she's okay, and she seems to be happy and doing quite well for herself. So you know what, I'm gonna be brave and be myself and be out, because if she can do it and survive, then maybe so can I.
When's the first time you think you saw yourself on TV or in a film?
I think The Color Purple was really major for me. I was young, and I think just seeing Suge and Celie, that infamous kiss, as innocent and as beautiful as it was, it meant a lot to me, because I was sort of like, that's interesting. I saw myself even then as a kid.
Queen Latifah set it off as gangster too.
Queen Latifah set it off, man.
Because it wasn't a thing. Like, it was just like,
right.
She just happened to, like, when you didn't think about it till after the fact, like, oh shoot.
True. And I remember, but that movie in general was just, I think, phenomenal. I think it's really underrated, and I don't think it gets the love it deserves, because it's a really beautiful movie about 4 strong black women who take matters into their own hands in order to, rise above their circumstances. It's a phenomenal film, and I think it's some of Queen Latifah's best work.
Absolutely.
And I remember, looking at her and going like, wow. And I'm more of a softer stud. I ain't that, go-go. I don't know if I, but I was like, I could see myself. But even too, on the L Word, and they took a while to get a black character on there. It was toward the last season. But I remember there's a character, Tasha, who was, a black lesbian, and she was in the army. And I remember kind of looking at that, secretly watching the L Word, to be like, okay. But I'm telling you, it's important. People need to see themselves. And in the culture, they have to. They're worthy of that.
School our listeners real quick, because you call yourself an openly queer woman. When did the word queer change from a slur to a term of endearment?
Yeah, I think for me, the reason why I use the word queer is because even though, yes, there's lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, intersex, asexual, non-binary, there's a lot of, categories within our group. And the reason why I like to say queer is because I don't want to separate myself from any of those other people. To me, I'll fight next to a gay man, I'll fight next to a bisexual person, I'll fight next to a trans person, I'll fight next to someone who's non-binary. I like to say we're all one big family. And so that's why I try not to say lesbian, because then I'm sort of I feel like ostracizing the lesbian group within a group of that's already a minority. So for me, when I say queer, it's really my way of just sort of being all inclusive. So that way I'm not separating myself from any other group. It's me saying we're all one big group. We all have something about us that's sort of different, and we all have to come out in some sort of way. So I just kind of feel like we're all one big family.
Well, we have to go, guys.
Okay, just one last question. She has to go, but has The Chi been picked up for a season 2 yet?
Not yet, but I feel confident.
It will.
And I'm grateful to all these people that really showed up. So many people, so many of our people, some people that don't even look like us were Instagramming and posting and tweeting, and it feels similar to Thanksgiving, because the thing about Netflix is we don't know how people feel about it until until we see Twitter. Yeah, exactly. Right. We don't have ratings or whatever. But I think for The Chi, and we were lucky because Showtime was gracious enough to release the first episode early. So we were getting tweets and emails and comments. It was getting texts, and he was screen grab them and send them to me. People were saying again, thank you for showing us as we are, and that's really my mission as a writer. I really want to continue to gain the audience's trust, and I want to continue to be a person that can really wave a flag for our community. And I think it's something I don't take lightly. And even with winning the Emmy, I'm really grateful, and I didn't expect for that to happen so early in my career. So I think for me, I feel like I'm always trying to earn it. I'm really trying to earn that moment, and hopefully maybe get a few more.
One last question: how do you think the show will change the perception of Chicago? I asked you this last night, but I want our audience to hear it.
I hope it just sort of reminds them that black boys aren't born with a gun in their right hand and a pile of drugs in their left. You know, they're born with the same amount of hope and joy and potential as every other little kid, and that, you know, we're human, and I think that's the thing that people often forget. We are human beings, and we're just a group of working class folks that are trying to go to work every day, raise our kids, and get to church when we can, and also too, you know, I know people have said they feel really connected to the characters and they feel like they're really rooting for them and care about them. And even though they may be fictitious, my hope is that if you care about Coogie, if you care about Brandon, if you care about Emmett, if you care about Kevin, that maybe when you hear a story on the news about some young black boy being shot and killed in the street, it will no longer just be background noise. Right. But you'll wonder what his nickname was. You'll wonder what he had for breakfast that morning. You'll wonder what his dreams were. And I think that's the mission, is to get people to care about our lives.
We appreciate you for joining us.
Lena Waithe. Lena's special, man. And she's about to be in a Steven Spielberg movie, so you know what that means. Whenever Steven Spielberg puts a black woman in their movies, Oprah, Whoopi, they go to a new level. A new level. That's where Lena's about to go.
Look, and I'm going to keep coming back, man. Whenever y'all hit me, I'm going to come back.
Please do. Well, we appreciate you for joining us. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.